Happy Tuesday, everybody. How's it going? Bobby will join me shortly. I guess he's having a little struggles to get out of bed this morning, which I always understand as well. Hope everybody's doing well on the Patreon here. Thank you for joining us once again for the 8 million time update. Charlotte Stingray, oh baby. I think I don't even look anymore. I don't care. It's fine. But Bobby just said his alarm never went off. Well, I don't need alarms to go off when I guess Bobby being young and spry, when you're old like me, you don't need an alarm. You just, when the sun comes up, the old man gets up, I guess. I don't know. I've been up for a while. I got up early. Was watching some highlights of, I didn't get to watch the end of the basketball game last night of OKC and Dallas. And so I watched the highlights this morning, and Dallas had that game the whole time. And I'm watching the highlights going, well, maybe Dallas is a decent team, and then SGA just continues to do what SGA does and just keeps in shots, whatever, and then OKC comes back and shows that they look like they are a number one team, but I don't know. I don't think either one of those teams are winning the whole thing. I don't know. I thought the West is super strong, but the more is here, I mean, maybe the Celtics are the team this year. I don't know. My Knicks aren't going to be it, but whatever. But it was fun to watch that. Those series are going to be good. Whoever comes out of the West is going to be very strong and very powerful. I don't think men's basketball matters because today is Caitlin Clark Day, especially in Connecticut, because she's coming to the Mohegan Sun Arena to play against the Connecticut Sun, and the whole world, not the whole world, but Connecticut. At least they're telling us that in media. I don't know if that's really a thing, but they seem to be pretty fired up for all that stuff going on with her coming and playing and it being a big game. But I don't know. I don't know anyone that's going. I know it's sold out and everything, but I can't imagine they're that fired up for it. I just can't. I don't know why. I can't imagine people are really going to be, once they're there and they watch it. It's just a lady playing in basketball. It's just like men play basketball. I mean, like regular season games, I guess you fired up for the moment, but then it's just a game. It's just the first game of a season. If she makes it to the playoffs, if she starts driving a team to the playoffs and they get to the finals, then you start talking about stuff. But the thing is with the Caitlin Clark crap is that if she doesn't get to the finals, is it a failure in her first year? I mean, because of the basically, the Jesus sat walking on water thing. Is it worth it? Like, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, for everyone to be like, you're the thing, you're the savior, you're this and that. I don't know. I mean, it's still ladies basketball, but good luck to her and all that stuff. But that men's game, SGA was just hitting shot after shot after shot. But you watch that Dallas should be winning more. I mean, they've got just like they have the same formula as Denver. They've got two stars, and then they get a bunch of people that understand their roles. Maybe their bench isn't as deep as Denver's, but it's close. Washington's been scoring more points than both Doncic and freaking Irving right now. So it's like you got a third scorer right there. Gabbard and Lively and all them digging their plays Hardaway when he needs to. They've got defense now. They've got a lot of different people playing, and that's kind of like what Denver does. But I don't know. Oklahoma City. I mean, they've got a big goony monster, but in chat. But I don't know. I can't. I guess they match up well with Boston. If they played them, I guess they match up well. I just don't know if they match up. I don't think that Dallas could beat Denver because they seem like a little shittier Denver. So I think Denver would just be better at that. I think Dallas could beat Minnesota. I'd rather see Minnesota versus OKC in the Western Final. I just want to see young stars. I just want to see no Europe. I guess I don't want to see Europeans in them. I don't. I like their style. I don't want to see it. I want to see Anthony Edwards versus SGA. I want to see that. And over on the other side, Indiana is fun. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm rooting for the Knicks, but Indiana is fun. Indiana against Boston could be fun, seeing they're running those guys and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm hoping the Knicks somehow can get healthy and get good and pull things off. But I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I don't know if they have the ability to do that. It could be very tough. I watched a goofy movie last night. I mean, goofy in a good way. First of all, a lot of times I don't know what movies to watch on TV. I watch there's a guy called Flickster, I believe his name is, on YouTube, and he just breaks down what happens on. He's like, this month to Netflix. So here's 10 movies I recommend, or here's 20 the worst movies ever on Hulu or whatever, and he'll just always break things down. And they mentioned a movie on HBO Max called Lucky with Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton was like he was in Aliens, and he was in Paris, Texas, and he was in Pretty in Pink and a bunch of other shit like that. But like this in this movie he plays a 90 something year old man who's just waiting for death to happen. He's not sick or ill. He's just 90 something years old. And in real life, he was doing it. This is his last movie. And it's him just being an old ass man somewhere, like I think in New Mexico or Texas or somewhere. I forget where. And it's just really well done. It's not like you're waiting for the guy to die or do it. Just a guy at the end of his life, like what his life kind of deal. It was very enjoyable, but like afterwards, you go to sleep and then you're like, oh yeah, I feel like that. And I'm 49. Like, I mean, this guy got another 50 years out of it. And he's just like kind of curmudgeon, but kind of not. And he's a lonely fuck. And you're like, oh, great. I guess I'm never sleeping again. That's fine for me. Then I just have thoughts creep in your head and go, what have I done with my life? I don't even have a cool hat like this guy does. One guy in the movie owned a turtle. I don't think I'd ever fucking own a turtle. Like, I'm not really a pets person. I like other people's pets. I'm just not somebody I think wants my own pets, but I definitely wouldn't have a turtle. On a scale of good pet to turtle. Turtle sounds like the least fun. You can't pet a turtle. You can't, walk a turtle. What the fuck do you do with a turtle? You're not owning a turtle. You're just letting a turtle exist next to you. Like, you own a cat. You own a dog. I don't mean that like in like a dominant sense, but you do. They're there with you. You can do stuff with them. You pet them, cuddle, play, all that kind of stuff. That's fun. Can't do that to a fucking fish. But I guess you can at least watch a fish do. You can put shit in a fish's tank and at least watch that fish do shit with the stuff you gave it. Like, here's a castle and a fucking scuba guy, and he blows bubbles, and the fish is like moving around him. You're like, oh, okay, I kind of get that, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess that's a fun. If you were high, you could watch fish do shit in a tank. You put the fish in there. I don't even know if two turtles do shit. I mean, I know I've seen a couple of videos of YouTube with them when they fuck, but like that's. How much do you want to watch that? Like, and I guess if you want, unless you want to make another one of those videos, you're recording turtles fucking, but then you're just making like turtle porn. You're not really owning a turtle. You're just like a weird, creepy director. And I don't even know how you get them going. How do they? I didn't. I don't know. I think turtles are one of the dumber things. I don't know if there's a god, but if he was and he's like, I'm making this, it's dumb. Turtles are dumb. I'm happy I'm not a turtle. I'm not always happy that I'm a guy, but like, I don't mean like, oh, I want to be a lady. I just mean like, if you could choose to be stuff, I don't know, like a hawk would be cool. I want fish, and you just swoop down, you get some fucking fish, and you're done. That's it. Just get some fish. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. And then you're like, oh, there's the rodent. You go down. I mean, I guess you deal with some shit, but you don't really hear about too many people killing hawks. Hawks just do their thing. Regular hawks are cool. Ethan hawks are cool. That Maya hawk is cool. The people that marry Ethan Hawke, anything with Hawk in the name is cool. Hawking is not as good. I knew a Steve Hawke. He wasn't really that cool, but whatever. But I know another Steve Hawke, and he's kind of cool, but he's like paralyzed, so that's not that cool. And then Stephen Hawking, he's paralyzed, and that's not cool. But he's a Hawking. He's not a hawk. So I guess the animal hawk's better than the person hawk. But like a wrestler, if you call yourself Hawk, that's pretty cool. Like Hawk and Animal, they were the Road Warriors. They were cool. I wouldn't want to be any of those hawks. I would just want to be a hawk, not a black hawk, because that sounds like black cock, and I don't want to be a black cock. Black cocks are the worst kind of cocks. I guess they're the best kind of cocks if you want to be a size thing. But if you're a black cock, then people are always using you to threaten people. They're like, I'm going to get you with a black cock. It's the worst kind. You're like, oh no, like you go to jail. That's like Kurt Metzger does a great bit on it, but that's basically a threat. And also a comment in Green Green talks about it too, but always being the threat to people in prison. It's like basically worse than the sentence, because they're like, you get 10 to 15 years. You're like, okay, I guess I can do 10 to 15 years. Like, well, but you're also going to get like raped by black cocks. Like, no, that's the punishment. Well, no, you're also not allowed to be in society. And like, no matter what, you're going to leave. You're going to be here for 10 to 15 years. It's not no matter what, you're going to get black cock. You know what I mean? Like, I guess like in a weather report of it, there's a slight chance of black cock. You know what I mean? Like, cloudy with a chance of black hawk, but whatever. And then Black Hawk is a helicopter, and that's supposed to be like a really cool one, but I don't know shit about helicopters. I think helicopters are like dumb, like retarded planes. The plane's cool. It takes off. Everybody can be on it. You can fly anywhere. You can be fighter ones, all that. Helicopters, everybody knows it's coming. It's like, it's always fucking loud. The waiter's blowing Trump's hair. He's like, and he's all crazy. You land dumb. You got to land on an X. That seems easy. It's like, oh, look, like how pirates found treasure. They just had an X, and they're like, there it is. So I don't know. Helicopters are dumb. I think if you fly a helicopter, you were hoping to do other shit. I mean, you used to act like it's cool. It's not cool. Like, you're just a sky taxi. I kind of hover, but you can't go everywhere. You're like, all right. I don't know. That seems like an easy pilot. It's like I had my CDL for a little bit, but I didn't have like the CDL where you could drive, giant monsters, like the giant, like, tractor trailers. I just had the straight truck one, and that was kind of like, why do I even have a CDL? Why? That's basically driving a regular truck, but then you could put cold juice in the back. Because I was just driving for Tropicana. It wasn't really having a CDL. It was just, I'm just kind of doing it. So it's like you're wearing a helmet, kind of. You're not like full, you're not drooling, but you're definitely not regular. You still get good parking. You know what I mean? Helicopters, like, it is. It's the special needs mobile of flying. Right? Planes, jets, those are way better. I even think like a hang glider might be. Balloon, hot air balloon is kind of dumb, but at least you can kind of like, you can't be romantic on it. Like, at least you could have a romantic hot air balloon ride, or you could like glide across things and look at it. A helicopter is just loud and stupid and dumb, and if you are on it, you seem pretentious. You're like, I need to rush somewhere, but not really, kind of. It's like, I don't know. It's just a big blowhard, stupid thing. I would definitely not want to be on a helicopter. Like, if someone's like, do you want to take a helicopter ride? I'm like, no. It's one of the things I would never do, like, ever in life. Like, if someone's like, come on, man, is it a bucket list? So who the fuck's bucket list is a helicopter ride? I don't know. It's loud, it's stupid, it's waving. There's no doors. It's like the same thing like when you want to be in a Jeep without doors. It's like, get some doors. Like, they're not hard to get. Like, once they invented doors, they realized they could put them on anything. It's like, things with doors are always better without doors. I don't do motorcycles because there's no doors. I know you can't put doors on a motorcycle. I'm just saying I need doors. A plane has doors, or at least a door. But I also don't like planes because then you're just in the air. You can't. I don't like anything where I can't just get out. I need to be able to leave. It's probably a therapy thing. I should probably talk about that. But like, I can't be on stuff where I can't take off. I know you take off in a plane, but you know what I'm saying. I can't just, I don't know. I don't know if people like helicopters. I don't know if anyone really likes them. I think some kids do. And that's good for them, I guess. If you like a helicopter, congrats on that. But like, I can't imagine that's real. I think you like it because maybe you're someone in your family liked it. Like, I don't know. If someone said, hey, you want to go watch helicopters, no one goes and you don't go watch helicopters do shit, right? Like, you can go watch the Blue Angels do plane shit, and you can go see a plane show or something, I guess. I don't think you go to a helicopter show. Like, helicopters, yeah, I think they're the dumbest vehicle. I would rather be on a bike with one giant tire and one small tire than be on a helicopter. Because at least that's the novelty, silliness of it. Look at me, I'm a big hipster, stupid guy. I got a curly mustache. What do you think of helicopter? You don't even have like a fun stereotype. I mean, I guess maybe Hawaiian shirt? I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. It's always dumb. You can talk on a plane. You're like, hey, what's it going? Yeah, peanuts. You can talk on a plane. You can't talk on a helicopter. You can talk on a hot air balloon. You can talk on a car. You could even kind of talk on a motorcycle because you're like leaning in. I guess those are the ones that are hardest to talk. But at least a motorcycle, you could just pull over and chat. You can't pull over in a fucking helicopter. I know helicopters are dumb because the dumbest people, like Bill, don't get me wrong, Bill Burr's a great comedian, but like when you find out Bill Burr's just like, I took time off from telling jokes and I just fly a helicopter. It's like, I've never thought of Bill Burr as a guy that seems smart and he could just do it. Kobe Bryant and everybody was like, that didn't work out well. But you know what I'm saying? Like, helicopters just seem like there's no good purpose for them at all. I mean, maybe they were good, like, if you're going to, like, back in Vietnam or something, they're going to battle Charlies or something, and they're like, I gotta fly in and go grab our guys out of there and quickly get out of here. That might be the only move, like a rescue thing. But for anything else, I guess it's the same thing as remember in the cartoons when you were a kid when they'd have that Saint Bernard with the jug around his neck because he'd have booze in it with the 3 X's and you drink it. I'm better. I don't know why booze. Why was booze helping? Because you were cold, I guess, and it was warm, yeah. Or maybe that was just cartoons. That's not real. But I'm saying like the Saint Bernard savior dog is a helicopter of the animal kingdom, I guess. Where it's good for saving, but I don't know who that helps. I mean, that definitely doesn't help just in regular life. Like if you're an alcoholic and a dog just keeps bringing you booze, where's the dog getting the booze? Like, am I supposed to believe that some alcoholic guy who owns this dog, stops, takes the little barrel, fills it with whiskey, whatever, screws it on, puts it around this dog's neck, and trained him, I guess, to understand when people are having like an issue enough where they need alcohol? Because that wouldn't help if I broke my leg on a mountain. And he showed up with fucking Jack Daniels. I'm like, well, this, I mean, it will help with the pain for a second, but I still can't get down off the mountain. I guess I won't feel it less when vultures eat me. I don't know what that would do. Same thing with the helicopter. I'm laying there and they're like, we're coming to get you. I'm like, you can't land. I'm on a side of a mountain. How the fuck here's some rope? Fuck you. I'm not grabbing rope. People that do that are insane. Lower a rope, grab on and pull up. I mean, that might look fine in the movies. Your fucking arms would hurt, your shoulders. You're not working out regularly. Your body can't handle that. Go do 4 pull-ups right now. Just go do them right now. Stop and do 4. Your arm, your neck, and you'll tweak. It'll be weird because you don't do it normally. You can't pull a rope and get pulled into the fucking air. You just can't. You can't. It will hurt. So if you had to be saved and you already had pain and injury and all that, you're done. You're fucked. You can't do that at all. Helicopters are gay and dumb. And just Bobby, he's not gay or dumb. He's wonderful. Hello, Bobby. How are you?
One more fucking thing goes wrong.
Oh, no. Bobby's not doing good. That's all right.
Don't have my headphones. I can't hear a word you're saying. I don't know where
they went. Don't worry.
I'll be back
I've been talking anyway. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. You're fine. Bye. Bobby needs a helicopter right now. That's what he needs.
For fuck's sake!
Or a Saint Bernard maybe would help out. Maybe that's what it's for. The Saint Bernard shows up with some booze, and he comes and he brings Bobby a delicious drink, and then Bobby would be happy. The Saint Bernard could have all this stuff. Maybe like he'd have like the alcohol and the headphones that he would need, and then maybe a hug. I don't know if they can hug. Can Saint Bernards hug? I know some dogs can kind of hug, but not really hug. But helicopters are the gayest of all the vehicles, without a shadow of a doubt. There's no way I would get in one or care. If you drive a helicopter, you're homo. I'm sorry. Hi, Bobby.
Paddle boats are pretty fucking gay.
No, they're but just saying in like, at least in a paddle boat, like say like you could make it romantic. A helicopter can't be romantic. You could say you're speeding in, but everything is it's whooshing. You can't really land. At least a paddle boat. You also, if you don't like it, you can get out. Oh yeah, you're in the water, but you can get away. Everything about a helicopter is just fucking bullshit. And I was comparing helicopters to Saint Bernards with the ones that have the booze in the little barrel as like the most useless things. It's like they kind of can rescue you, but you're also fucked. Because when a helicopter tries to save you on the side of a mountain, it still has to lower a rope. You have to pull the rope. You're hurt. Your arms can't handle that. Same thing with booze. Like, oh, I broke my leg. Here's some Jack Daniels. Thanks, dog. They're both just pieces of shit.
I can't fight you on either one of those. I would say, though, I feel like the helicopter, have you seen the one where they twist the guy up and he's like spinning around the whole way? Yeah, like at least that's a fun ride.
But if you're not in pain, if you're like, hey, let's do a crazy adventure, that might be okay. But if you're hurt, if you were like stuck on a mountain for like a day and now you're going to get vertigo because they're spinning you around. And also, I don't trust the guy who puts me on that thing because it's like, why are you on a helicopter? Why aren't you a good pilot like somewhere else? Why are you a doctor on a helicopter? Why aren't you a good doctor? Why did you guys all end up on this stupid thing that no one gives a fuck about?
Yeah, again, hard to argue with you there. I know where I live, the Lifeline, which was the Penn State emergency like ambulance helicopter, was a big thing. But it also cost enough that if they saved you, you were like, I wish you'd let me die.
Yeah, because they charge you like $12,000
that they
they cut it off. Was that a thing? Is that saying come from like they were literally like, we're gonna take your arm?
I think it had to do with meat of animals, not the greatest animal, not the wildest game
Oh,
or whatever they call us, but like just animals in general.
because I don't think most animals have arms.
People were dumb in the dark ages.
Yeah, I guess.
Look at that
I guess
chicken's
they were
furry
fun.
arm.
Look at that dog running on 4 arms. Fucking
Fucking
stupid ass
four-armed dog.
Four-armed dog is a band I would definitely not go see. But I started off this by saying I was just watching. I didn't get to watch the game last night, but I watched the highlights of OKC. Looked like they weren't going to win that game, and then just SGA just slowly come back. Because at one point watching the highlights, I'm like, you know what? Is Dallas something I thought they weren't? Because I always thought Dallas was like a minor league Denver. You know what I mean? Like they got the 2 stars, they've got the things around it that can kind of do it, but they're not as good. And as I watched them kind of blow out at the beginning of this game, I'm like, are they finally getting all these pieces together? And then you just watch SGA go, okay, jumper, 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 and then all of a sudden it comes together. And I know it's only 2-2. I don't. At this point now, I want to see OKC versus Minnesota just to watch the 2 young bucks kind of go at it. I don't want Europeans in my Western final.
Yeah,
I think, but I don't. The more and more I'm watching the NBA final, the playoffs, and I do enjoy the playoffs. I'm not excited about any matchup for the NBA finals.
yeah. There isn't a good versus evil setup anymore. It's just gonna either be a fun series or it's gonna be like a terrible, boring series. Especially if it ends up the fucking Denver Nuggets versus like
Boston.
that wouldn't be fun. Or the Cavs
No.
would be pretty boring. Ugh.
A blowout. The Cavs somehow. The only way the Cavs have a chance is somehow Dallas gets a chance, because then you just watch Irving and Mitchell just keep shooting forever, and that's got to that's it. But like to say that, like, I can always hate the Celtics. I have the ability, because my way I was raised, to just go to that I hate Boston thing. And I would also hate them because I'm hoping the Knicks, but there's no way the Knicks, they're so beat up. And I don't even know if they come out of this Indiana series now, but who knows? But if they do, I can't see anybody in the East doing anything. I don't want Denver to win again. I don't care about that franchise being like a dynasty. I don't care. They're kind of fun, but not really fun to watch play. Dallas also isn't really fun to watch play.
Yeah,
Minnesota's fun. Minnesota's fun to watch at least, and OKC's fun to watch at least. And if I have to watch anything in the finals, I want to watch a skinny, weird goon like Chet fucking run around and look like a character you could make on a video game where you stretched him out too much. Like I kind of like that, but like okay, but no, I don't see anyone in the East, even with no big guys, fearing him. Like, yeah, he blocks some shots, but you just play around it. You understand he gets 4 blocks a game, but it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't stop you from doing anything.
Not at all. And like the only game I would like to see, I kind of am pulling for the Mavs. I liked seeing old Kyrie come back on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun to watch. But even then, I don't want my NBA champions to not want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's always like, I'd rather be horse racing just irritates me. Like I'd much rather have a young guy who's like, this is all I do. And then at the same time, you got Luka who's like, I play Overwatch.
Yeah, and also their leading scorer in the last 3 games has been Washington. So it's like, I guess it's good. A third guy has stepped up, but that shouldn't be happening now. Like those 2 should be leading scoring, and you should have someone else also stepping up. Like at least with Denver when they made the runs last year, your 2 main guys did your thing, but Porter also stepped up. You know what I mean? Like he didn't become the guy, but like, okay, we need you to do this so we can play even better. Washington had to be the guy last night for a while, and those guys were. It's like they're not give a fuck. You're right. It's like Denver doesn't care. Jokic doesn't care when he's like, this is a job. It's not like. I guess I don't mind that attitude, but Anthony Edwards fucking care. Anthony Edwards wants the NBA's world on his shoulders. It will never happen in Minnesota. He's got to go somewhere else. But if he ever won an NBA championship in Minnesota, if he brings that franchise to an NBA, because it'd be him doing it, not anyone else. They've got your favorite boy, Cat. They've got defense. They've got players and stuff. But it would be him doing that. If OKC ever wins an NBA championship, it would be because of SGA, not because of everybody else around. At least those two, it would elevate them. Then they go play with LeBron somewhere and get him another title. But like at least that would be worth it. The Euros getting it, I don't care. Yeah.
To quote Paul Pierce, they don't love Anthony Edwards like he's KG.
Not yet.
No, that's my point. Like he can't be that guy anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. Unless if he wins the NBA championship in one of these small town markets, he's never going to be the guy who's the king of the NBA in Minnesota.
I mean, he could be, but he'd have to really convince someone else to go over there. And I don't know who it would be. I think the only guy you could do that to is, and if you have to be healthy for a person's life, but if Zion, which is just like, I need to go somewhere else. And if I get even more away, not that he's in a big market, but Memphis is still a market enough. They've got me. It's been growing bigger and bigger. If he went over to Minnesota and played with him and then could just play, because Towns is going to leave there at one point. So if you would trade one for the other. But if you could do that, he
I have to reprise my role as Mickey Mouse.
Right. But if you did it to him and Anthony Edwards was your LeBron and Zion was your Davis, it could be something. I don't know if they'd ever win everything, but I think Minnesota fans would be like, oh, this is something, but also let them develop. That could be a thing. But I think once Anthony Edwards' contract's up, he's going somewhere fun.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a Knick.
Every year, us Knicks fans get fired up. The guy that everyone's going to get is good. It was weird we got Brunson because even then I was like, no, well, there must be a reason he's coming because no one wants him really. But then thank God he became what he was. But that's usually who we end up getting. The one they don't want. Amari Stoudemire when no one else wants Amari Stoudemire. Carmelo when they're like, can he play with anybody? Like that's who we get.
I mean, Carmelo went to Denver and kind of did the thing with AI. That
is the thing happens. With AI both being the two of them pretending that they respect the other one, but they really don't.
That's part of it, yeah. But kind of like your Anthony Edwards Zion, where they didn't win then, but 10 years later, a fucking European with a hook shot comes into the league and gets them the ring they deserve.
Yeah, but AI was already 2 seasons and already been there. I think when you take 2 that haven't been there, you know what I mean? Like AI wasn't gonna win with anybody, unfortunately.
When I was watching the Rangers collapse for no particular reason at all last night, the live stream I have, the chat is for all the games that it's illegally streaming. And one of the main focus was that Donovan Mitchell was coming to the Knicks. And I was like, don't do that to them. Every year they hear, we're getting so-and-so, we're getting so-and-so. It's never come through.
Where would he play, though?
Where would he play?
I think you can't. That his style, it would just ruin. It's just him and Brunson doing the same thing. They need the guards they have now for Brunson to be the guy. If you bring him in, you're saying Brunson doesn't work, and then you have to get rid of Brunson. It just doesn't. It's like the old back in the day when when AI was in Georgetown and they had Victor Page, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, 2 guys!" If you remember Victor Page looked just like Cornelius from Planet of the Apes. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's like holy shit! Like it was like really like is this racist? Is his head racist? It's like if like the Nazis were mad at black people and they drew a sketch instead of being mad at the Jews. It would be Victor Page. It would just be him. And Victor Page thought he was AI Jr. And he also just shot like that all the time. And they couldn't the Georgetown was never going to win an NCAA championship because they both couldn't exist in that way. Either one wanted to pass, you can't. If you had Brunson and Mitchell, you can't. Right now, they need a guy who wants to sit. They need a Klay Thompson. That's what they need. They need a guy who's at this point in his career is like, I'll go in the corner and hit the shots. It's like, and they need a healthy big guy, which they haven't had. I mean, I like my boy Hammerstein, but like he's not the guy to win a championship with.
No.
And Randall isn't it either. So when Randall comes back, he's not it either. He's just not.
Maybe it's time to bring in a Steve Adams type.
I would love a Steve Adams type, but in New York, he would just get so fancy and he'd just be at the Met Gala and he would be all fucking with the cornrows and he just wouldn't pay attention anymore. That guy loves being stylish.
Oh, he's the man.
Can't have him in New York.
Is he the one fighting Russia? I always get him confused with the other dude who's fighting his country.
He's fighting Russia. He always fights Russia. But so how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I had a long day yesterday, and then this morning my fucking alarms didn't go off.
Oh no.
And then I came back after going to grab my energy drink and turned this on. It was like, hey, your camera and mic don't connect to the browser. And then there were birds chirping outside of my window, like right outside, like aggressively. And it's like not how I needed to start my day.
But birds chirping are supposed to make you feel good and happy. I can still hear your birds, by the way. Like they are still chirping.
They're aggressive. They're
Yeah,
aggressive. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
literally, I can hear them through my headphones. To hear the.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. And then like you punch the window where they're at to try to get them to go away, and then the screen breaks, and now your hand's bleeding, and you've been trying to figure out if you need stitches or not. It's just one of those days.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud. But tonight we have a podcast, and I know we labeled it last week Tard Tuesday, but I think the only Tards might be you and me. But because
We'll see what happens.
Right, but once we named it that, it is hard to go get a guest. Uh, it's like because like they're like, wait, why do you want me at the 8 p.m. show? It's like, goddamn.
We did shoot you in the foot. Or shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah. Speaking of which, is Avery Quinn available?
Avery Quinn is a wonderful man, and he's not available for anything ever.
What? What? Is he in the Frank category now?
No, he's an. I mean, he might be with you, but the way you just don't stop. Who knows? You have that charm. You're like a helicopter.
Unless there's a mountain, I'm not stopping.
That's not stopping. It's like, unless you put an X on the side of that mountain. That's all I know what to do. I gotta find that. They're like pirate gold. Like, where's the X? That's it.
I love that. The treasure is the fiery death inside of us all along.
All right. Do you want? I'll give. Well, because it's a fun Tuesday show and no one's really watching anyway. We'll do a nice short one. We'll do like an hour and pop the fuck out because we're doing it tonight anyway. Do you want celebrity punch in the face? Do you want bride pissed? Do you want kicker talk shit about football? I mean, president of the United States, or do you want Red Lobster breaking people's hearts?
Any of those are great, other than the kicker talking shit about the United States.
Not the United States, but the president.
Oh, not Red Lobster, not the sad bride. Most brides are sad. I don't know if you've seen them. They look pretty sad.
Celebrity punch or kicker talk shit.
You know what? We had celebrity punch yesterday, and we saved it for today. Let's get that out of the way.
All right, there it is. Boardwalk Empire star Steve Buscemi punched by maniac in random NYC attack. I was always, whenever I hear this, I'm always hoping that you were like, yeah, I walked by that and I didn't care. Like, I was thinking of walking my energy drink. I saw Buscemi get punched. I was kind of like, "Oh, is that Buscemi getting punched?" And I got a donut.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Also get punched? There's a man clearly throwing punches out. I'm not trying to get one.
Well, I'd be like, yeah,
Steve, keep your hands up.
You want me to hold him down when you kick Buscemi? That's fine with that. I got your back, guy. But Ernie Banks jumping in the comments. It seems no one is safe on the streets of the Big Apple these days. Not even beloved hometown actor and Brooklyn native Steve Buscemi. Buscemi, 66. I didn't realize he was that old. Was strolling through Kips Bay. Where's Kips Bay?
Kips Bay.
I guess in Brooklyn, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Brooklyn. Kips Bay last week when a brute. I haven't heard someone call someone a brute in a while. I like that.
I thought that one fell under the thug category where like official newspapers weren't allowed to use it anymore.
A brute walked up and struck the Boardwalk Empire star in broad daylight attack. One of the latest unprovoked assaults in the 5 boroughs, law enforcement sources told the Post. The actor suffered swelling to his face and left eye and was taken to the Bellevue Hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, his deranged assault took off and is still on the lam. Dude, this guy who was writing this, amazing. The lam, brute. If he says he's a hullabaloo, I'm fucking out. And we're turning the whole show off.
Dude, I think Frank got a new job. He's writing like he's from the 40s. We had a big whippersnapper out there today get rocked.
There are a bunch of street toughs out there, see? They're getting a tussle.
Dukes up, Buscemi.
I got fisticuffs for you. Steve Buscemi was assaulted in Midtown Manhattan, another victim of a random act of violence in the city, Buscemi's publicist said. He is okay and appreciates everyone's well wishes, though incredibly sad for everyone that this has happened to him while also walking the streets of New York. Cops said the random attack happened around 11:48 a.m. So like just about lunchtime, Buscemi got punched in the face. It's not a good time to get punched in the face.
Had he already eaten?
It doesn't say. He's like, he had a couple. Well, what would be the whole time he had a couple of olive loaf sandwiches?
Slightly hungover Steve Buscemi was out getting hottie toddies today on his way.
He was having a mint julep as he was leaving, having some libations over at the speakeasy.
And this is why we here at NBR say keep them separate but equal.
You can't punch me if I have my own bathroom. I saw he was with a woman, and then through the corner of the window, I saw him trip and fall backwards. A worker in the area who witnessed part of the assault told it to Post. He right away got up and ran in the opposite direction. I didn't see who hit him. It worries me for that we closed because we closed at 11, and it gets scary around that time, said the woman, who only want to be identified as Nat. She's like, I don't want to know who I am, but here's like the first 3 letters of my name.
There he was, big star Steve Buscemi out with his best gal for a night on the town.
The NYPD released surveillance photos of the alleged attacker, a bearded man wearing a baseball cap, a blue t-shirt, and black sweatpants. Now, Bobby, what they don't tell you in that also breakdown is he's a black man, which would be the easiest part. I see a picture. It's like, it's a black guy. Just say it's a black guy. It's not illegal to say it's a black guy.
It's not, but it's also gotten to the point where they'll tell you if it's not a black guy.
Yeah, they would say like white man right away.
Yeah. Oh, white man, Indian, Chinese, Korean, Pakistani, Jewish, Muslim.
They might not say Chinese now. I think Chinese, they kind of back off a little bit.
Oh, I thought they just had a different term for him.
There's a chink in the armor. Man.
A chink in Steve Buscemi's armor as he gets punched in the face by a brute.
Gook gook ka-choo. That's what I say. The actor, a former FDNY firefighter, has a movie career that is spanned. Oh, they talk about his movie career. Who gives a shit? Buscemi earned. I want to know if he threw a punch back. I guess he just got punched in the fucking head and then done. Buscemi earned a wide acclaim for his. I don't care what his acting. Last week's unprovoked attack makes him the second actor from the popular series to fall victim. Wait a minute. Is this a
what
attack on the show? Holy shit. I didn't really even think of that. It is. On March 31st, actor Michael Stuhlbarg, who played gangster Arnold Rothstein on the show, was out for a run in the Upper East Side when he was struck in the back of the neck with a. Maybe this guy's mad they canceled Boardwalk Empire. So he's going around punching everybody from the show.
What if he's the real detective?
Oh my God, that'd be crazy. He's taking I'm finishing the show without you guys because you didn't do it, so I'm gonna finish it, and he's recording this.
That, or I was thinking he's like the one that inspired the TV show, and he's like, "Oh, you think you're a cop?
Oh,
solve this crime."
I thought you meant a detective on the show. You're like, no, like in real life, the guy.
No, like the detective who inspired Boardwalk Empire, whoever Buscemi was supposed to play. He's like, I'm a black man. Why did you cast Steve Buscemi of all people to play me?
He's the closest to black we have. The NYPD arrested a deranged vagrant. Dude, vagrant. This guy is killing. Now, 3 people wrote this article, but I want to know which one of them was in charge of words. One guy was just like, I got 5 cool words. I was like, all right, use them.
Dibs on pictures.
Xavier Israel, 27, in the assault, which took place around 7:45 p.m. Well, that was the first guy. Israel had previously been arrested for assault and robbery in 2022. Stolberg chased after the thug, who ran into the hands of police station outside the Russian. So the guy ran right to the police, like, help! Stolberg's chasing me.
Stolberg's gonna fucking kill me. Yeah. I fucked up, officers. I'll admit, I screwed up. Help.
Meanwhile, an NYPD spokesperson said Sunday that Buscemi's attacker remains at large. Buscemi has been a beloved figure in his native New York and famously rushed to the site of the World Trade Center after 9/11. Oh, who gives a fuck? The former Emmy winner was one of the New York's bravest in the 80s. In 2021, he dressed up as a character he played in the hit show 30 Rock to hand out candy to children. All right, who gives a shit? Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the guy running around punching people from Boardwalk Empire? I know they're saying it's not the same guy. I'm feeling it's the same guy. I would go find that guy first. I think he's punching people. But is it someone for punching Steve Buscemi? Is it Steve Buscemi for getting a punch and then having his publicist go tell everybody he's okay? when 9/11 happened, apparently you went out there dressed up in a little outfit and you were on the streets and you were saying, I'm a hero. You get punched once and a publicist has to talk? That's not New York. That's not fucking Brooklyn. That's not Kips Bay. That's not the way you handle a brute, a hullabaloo, a hijinks, all that stuff. That's not what you do. You're Buscemi. You come out, you go, you want to fucking fight? Let's fucking go. Let's go. I got Pesci with me. Let's go. I got bats and shit. Let's take us on. Is it the NYPD for putting out a thing saying it's a guy in a hat and a t-shirt and pants? Like, it's not what it is. It's a black guy punching people with a gray beard. It's Greer Barnes. Greer Barnes is running around punching people in the face. Stop him, because he's mad that he's not getting spots in the cellar anymore, so he's punching him right in the face. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Or is it the person in this article for writing so many cool words in it that you and I couldn't even focus on the article? I really don't even know much what happened to Buscemi. All I cared about was all the words he used.
Well, I mean, it's certainly not the author. He made the most out of a story that a bunch of people covered, and we had fun with his version of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Authors: Joe Marino, Valentina Jaramillo, and Jorge Fitzgibbons. Okay, so Joe Marino wrote the words.
I was gonna say, so Joe Marino's the man.
Because Jorge Fitzgibbon. It's not Fitzgibbons, it's Fitz-Gibbon.
Okay, that could be it too.
But why he's Jorge? I don't understand how that happened.
Sometimes Spanish people mispronounce George. I think that's what happens.
Jorge, right? That's always Jorge, right?
Yeah. No, you're pronouncing it correctly. I think what happened is kind of like Jason. You know, it changes over time.
Yeah,
Jorge became the thing. But so it's not our good friend who wrote this article. That made it very entertaining. He brought up a good point. It's Steve Buscemi, and it's not he was a hero on 9/11, now he's not, but if he was as good at fighting fires as he was fighting off assailants, I may understand why we lost so many people on that fateful day at 9/11. For me, he's the piece of shit, though, and the reason why is he made this whole thing up just to pretend like he had a girl with him. That's the entire purpose of this article. Steve Buscemi smashed his face off a trash can, gave a local fast food worker $100 to say he was with some girl named Nat. And now the whole story's out there. But the whole purpose was just for us to think he was with a woman. That, or it's Natalie Cuomo for cheating on Dan Lamont with fucking Steve Buscemi and then being like, nope, just call me Nat. Got to get out of here.
I need to find the one man a little bit more autistic than Dan Lamont. By the way, Ernie Banks jumping in saying we should have used the word rapscallion, which by the way, yeah.
Ernie. I feel like Ernie would have a couple of good ones to contribute to here.
They have a gay time with that rapscallion, gave him a shiner. That's a sentence he put out there.
G. Willikers, big Hollywood star, was punched by a rapscallion, gave him a real shiner. We'll see what happens at the 8 o'clock news.
And we were trying to name drinks. He first went Kool-Aid, but then he redeemed himself with a Tom Collins.
Thank God Tom Collins wasn't drunk since Steve Buscemi got punched out going to get his Tom Collins. I don't know. I'm trying here.
And Ernie also believes that the guy who, after fitting the description, it was Obama that was punching people. I don't think it was Obama, but it could be Big Mike. I don't think Obama packs the punch, but Big Mike could do it.
Big Mike, she's not in the weight class of Buscemi, though. Like, he would have to fight up weight class to be in hers.
The piece of shit in this story is the guy who's throwing the punches. If his mission isn't to fucking avenge Boardwalk Empire in some way, if he's just randomly doing it and two random people from Boardwalk Empire got punched by two different people, fuck that. But if this guy if there's one man and he's just really mad at this TV show, like, I was mad at the way The Wire ended. You know what I mean? I like The Wire, but in the last season, I'm kind of like, I'm not a big fan of it. There was times where I thought about, like, should I go punch Idris Elba and a bunch of other people and go figure this out, and make sure they understand? But I didn't go do it. But you would understand if I did. Certain shows, you're like, I don't like how this ended. Same thing.
How I Met Your Mother would have been mine.
I didn't watch it, but I would have punched from season 1. Like, season 1, I would have started punching people.
I'm just saying, of the two casts, I got a better chance than you do. Now, granted, it'll be a hate crime when I drop NPH, but the rest of the time, I'm cool.
Right, but at the same, it would be kind of a hate crime if you say you're punching Neil Patrick Harris. If you say you're punching Doogie Howser or the guy or whatever the character's name was from the White Castle movies, then I think people wouldn't care. But everything else, he's gay.
Okay, I'll allow it.
If you punch
a dude
Barney,
from White
it's okay.
Castle.
You can't punch NPH. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if this guy's not punching Buscemi and not punching the other guy and punching their names in the characters in the show, then I'm on board. I think you let him finish.
I could see that.
I think you let him become the Boardwalk Empire himself. He's just trying to win. And that's fine. But if it's any other reason for the punches, just like you're a jerk, then you don't, then you're a piece of shit.
If you, let's say, who was the first guy he punched?
I forget his name.
Okay, don't worry about it. Let's say you're out.
Aaron Stolberg or something like that.
Stoneberg shit in your car.
I never saw the show, so.
But I'm saying he shit in the car, so you punched him. And then you're walking down the street a couple of weeks later, and you see Steve Buscemi.
Is he also shitting in my car?
No. But you just go, I've got one. Like, I got to take it. What's the likelihood I see another Boardwalk Empire star?
See, I'd have to know they were Boardwalk. I know you're saying if there was like, okay, so if like,
what was that movie you hated so much that you saw recently? It was like there was no plot. Some woman was just being whiny the whole time.
That sounds like half the things I watch.
It's my life.
I was thinking like if I saw Matthew Lillard and I was like Shaggy, he's like I gotta punch him. And then a day later I see Freddie Prinze. I'm like Fred, I'd have to light him up too. And I'm not mad at them. It'd just be funny to fight them.
That's kind of my point. Like I don't know if this guy who's doing punches is that bad of a guy, or if he just found himself with a unique set of circumstances and an opportunity few people find themselves with.
But then that would come back to haunt me because then guess who would have to fuck me up? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So then I'm done. I can't fight Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's my final fantasy.
To fight Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Be murdered with her. Be murdered by her as I or. Oh, I mean,
be better either way. So, by the way, just all the comments from Ernie Banks just go Obama. Then it goes, it's Obama's fault. Then it goes, piece of shit, Obama. Then it goes, did I mention Obama? And then it goes, thanks, Obama. So I guess according to Ernie, the piece of shit is Obama. So thank you, Hall of Famer, Chicago Cub, Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. All right, Bobby, you got stories? If you don't, I got plenty.
I do. Do you have the former NBA player story?
No, I don't have anything with that. By the way, happy Caitlin Clark Day to you. I forgot. I wish that to everyone earlier, but not to you.
Well, thank you, and may she also be with you in your spirit.
We lift up our hearts. We lift up to the Lord.
It's right and just, Pat. It is right and just to root for Caitlin Clark. But that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about former NBA player Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Oh.
Did you hear about him at all?
No, I never liked Big Baby Davis, so I'm happy something bad happened to him.
Well, a federal judge handed down a 40-month sentence after former NBA player Glenn Big Baby Davis was convicted in a scheme to defraud a health care benefits plan put in place by the NBA. In November, Davis was found guilty of health care fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to make false statements, and conspiracy to commit health care and wire fraud. The convictions carried a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison. Davis reacted to his sentence by joking it presented a unique opportunity for him to improve his physical conditions. I'm going to be swole, though. I swear to God, I'm about to get in so much shape. On God, Davis said during an Instagram live video shortly after the sentence. He suggested he would get in better shape by making a significant change to his diet. That's what God said. I'm going to stop you eating hamburgers. I'm going to put you in jail. You don't want to stop eating hamburgers and Cheetos? You're going to jail. So now I'm going to become The Rock. In addition to the prison sentence, Davis will be subjected to supervised release for 3 years. During that time, Davis will have to attend a financial management class and undergo mandatory drug treatment as conditions of his release. David was also ordered to pay $80,000 in restitution. The rest of the article is more than 20 people have been charged with sentenced in their roles for the scheme, which involve filing inaccurate medical claims with the NBA players' health and benefit welfare plan, according to the indictment. Who's the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it
First of all, was it real quick, 3 years? Doesn't that seem a little much?
No, that's after his prison sentence.
3 years. He gets 3 years after his prison sentence?
Yeah. So basically, he has to go to prison, and
Right.
then
For how long?
he gets.
That's what I'm saying.
See.
Like, it seems like a long
40
He
months.
didn't kill him.
No. So he's got 40 months in prison, which is like 3 years.
Yeah, a little less than 2 years. Or no,
a little more than 2 years.
Wait, no.
Yeah. It's almost 4 years. So you're right. It turns out the number was actually right. Yeah. There's 12 months in a year. 3 times 12 is 36. So 3 years, 4 months. It's a little early in the morning.
Holy shit. I don't know how many months there are. Fuck.
But who's the piece? So he's got that. Then he's got 3 years of supervised release where he has to take the classes and piss test. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Big Baby for defrauding the NBA? I mean, they got enough money, but at the same time, if you stop defrauding them, maybe Caitlin Clark can get her charter flights or whatever she's complaining about. Is it the court where it's like, you know what, this guy needs? Classes. If Big Baby wanted to do classes, he wouldn't have needed the literacy thing. Like, the NBA offered it. Just because he makes something mandatory doesn't mean he's going to be good at it. Is it Big Baby for saying he's going to get in shape now that God put him in jail so he can't eat cheeseburgers and Cheetos? Or is it Big Baby for eating cheeseburgers and Cheetos? It's cheeseburgers and French fries, you motherfucker. What are we doing here? You can afford it. You played in the goddamn NBA. Don't tell me you can't afford a fucking potato in an air fryer. I can do that, and I'm broke as shit. Pat, who's the piece of shit in this story?
Well, I know you tried to make it so we all picked one person, but I'm saying the exact opposite. It is everyone else except for Glenn Big Baby Davis. And I mean everyone. I mean you. I mean me. I mean everyone else in the world. Why? Because his nickname is Big Baby Davis. So what do big babies do? They throw fits, they throw tantrums, they do stupid things like big babies. Babies are mad when they don't get what they want. I can't have cheeseburgers, I'm going to cry. I can't have cheeseburgers, I'm going to cry. You're not going to let me do this, I'm going to cry. I'm going to blame everybody else. Why? Because I'm a big fucking baby. Oh, God made me fat. Oh, really? But your stupid fat made you cool in the NBA for like a couple weeks. I never liked watching Big Baby Davis play because he always acted like he was like a... To me, Big Baby Davis was an out-of-shape Kendrick Perkins. And that's saying a lot because Kendrick Perkins wasn't in greatest shape. But it was just like he had like the kind of abilities to be that, but he couldn't be it. And everyone's just like, oh, it's funny because he's chubby and fat. No, you're fat. They should have just called him Glenn Fat Fuck Davis. That should have been his name the entire time. Fat Fuck Davis would have been upset and would have stopped eating cheeseburgers and Cheetos way sooner. Big Baby is like, oh, it's cute. Have another fucking cheeseburger. Why? So if we called him Fat Fuck Davis, then he would have been fine. So we're all the pieces of shit for giving him the wrong nickname.
I've found that even if you call people a fat fuck, they don't always change their habits and continue.
But if you call have you ever called their first name, then Fat Fuck, then their last name? that changes it.
The name I'm ending.
You're like Avery Fat Fuck Quinn. He would be like real bad at you, not jokingly bad.
But that wouldn't, and I wouldn't do that because Avery's not like Glenn Davis fat.
No, but just to fuck with him.
Oh, and I would. If I fuck with somebody, it's got to be factually accurate, Pat.
Like I'll do it to Stevie Lou, and just have to go like, "What?" He's like, "This shouldn't be."
All right,
like,
fair.
Stevie Fat Fuck Lou. It's like, all right, I weigh 4 pounds.
The name I was thinking of ends in a hard K, first name, so it'd be hard to get from that to Fat Fuck. You know,
hard K.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
A hard K? That's where it's like, let's say there's a name that usually has like a CK. It just ends in the K.
Oh, I was thinking like African clicks, like that. Like K.
Think as far from African as you possibly could.
Right, because they're not fat fucks. They're usually like,
no.
If you call an Ethiopian guy like, hey, fat fuck. Like, that'd be crazy.
They would shoot bow and arrow at you, but not because you called them a fat fuck. They just don't like.
They are bow and arrow. One skinny guy is the string, and one guy they form a bow and arrow, and they fire themselves at you.
We met a guy from Ethiopia in Milwaukee, and he was like, we have we don't have a lot of Ethiopian delicacies around here. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't have a lot of delicacies in Ethiopia either.
No. But from one tundra to the other, Jesus Christ, dude. Why would you move from Ethiopia to Minnesota?
I think a lot of the groups get fooled because they hear the land of 10,000 lakes. Like, I think all the Somalians were like, oh, shit, we love pirating. There's a whole bunch of water we could pirate on. Let me move to, and then they get mad and they're like, I got to work at the Mall of America.
Like my family was given the Tupperware of your land of lakes. We used that to hold all our gold, so I wanted to go see it.
I try one alcoholic beverage. It's called Milwaukee's Best, and I think I could be better than that.
Ernie Banks chimes in with a Sam Kinison quote. It's sad. Move. Go where there's food.
Yes. Amen, dude. We saw Chicago when we were in Chicago, -12. There's a homeless guy outside. It's like, motherfucker, just walk south. Just walk in a line. It's going to get warmer eventually.
I never understood homeless people always in the same place. Just move around. Like, there was like, oh, that, because what happens? You see a homeless guy begging more than once or twice in a spot. The first time I give him money, and you're like, oh, he's always there. You start to believe he has a scheme or there's some kind of like conspiracy. Even if there isn't, you always just go, well, since he's in that one location. But if I was a homeless guy, I'd be in a different corner every day. It's like slot machines at a casino. You can sit there and think you're playing one machine, but if you just keep bouncing around, you're going to hit a couple big ones, a couple small ones, but you're always moving and you feel better about yourself because location. You know what I mean? You're always moving around you're being homeless. If you stay somewhere, you might not be inside, but you're still home because you stay that street every day. That's your home now. And now you're not homeless. You're just homed.
When you show up to the same spot, it feels like you want a home.
Like you're punching in. You can't punch in.
If you just travel around, then you're truly homeless. You have no ties to anywhere. If you have a corner you have to go to every day, that's the same thing. You
got to ride the rails. You got to be a vagabond.
Oh, I know people who are vagabonds.
Yeah, I know.
A real vagabond sucker punched Steve Buscemi outside the other day.
He was just a frequent hobo. All right.
Piece of shit in the story is Glenn Davis's PR team.
I forgot about Glenn Davis. We went so off.
Like, he's not going.
We were talking about Ethiopians. I'm like, I forgot Glenn Davis was even in the story.
Yeah, and I get he's trying to be positive and keep his chin up, but like he's not going to lose weight in prison. That food's not good for you. I get that he says he's going to lift all the time. Great, maybe he will, but you blew the element of surprise, which could be 4 years from now when he gets out going, oh my God, look at remember Big Baby Davis? This is him now. Like, any good from this is gone because he said he was going to now.
Yeah.
Also, his statement probably
he has to keep more than one chin up, though.
That's my point.
Yeah.
He should also have been like, I think I'm going to focus on financial literacy over the next 4 years and making sure I don't defraud anybody else ever again. That would have been my statement.
All right. Let's just do one more, then we'll be ready for all energetic for tonight. How about that?
Does it feel like I haven't been energetic this morning?
No, I just meant.
I am sorry.
I love.
I'll bring the energy tonight.
I love you, me and Ernie Banks is a threesome.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Let's get this one. We'll get out of here. I'll hit up our special guest, try to get him to come. If
you can't get him, I'm gonna suggest another person maybe you reach out to. I don't know if you guys are still in talks, but he has one name, but it's the same noise twice, and we've had him on the show in the past.
I will hit him up.
Right, and either one of them would be great. Or worst case, we get the one from last week again. I don't think he's doing shit. He's got an open mic. I could see Tuesdays with him forever. Tuesdays of speech impediment man could be a good time. We just have him, and we just have him tell us jokes. That's just it.
I could see that actually. And then he becomes the star of the podcast, and then slowly kicks us off.
On Tuesdays, he's just the third mic until finally, we walk away. That's it. I like that. But okay. What do I want to go with? We'll go with what can we follow with? Let's go with the bride thing. Bride calls out wedding guests ridiculous RSVP. Nothing I can do now. By the way, just so you know, I'm looking at this. The bride is like the fattest lady I've ever seen.
Yep, I know who the piece of shit is already, Pat. Let me save you some breath.
One too many. A fuming bride expressed her grievances about a controversial RSVP from a wedding guest who added another person to the form without asking the soon to be newlyweds. Anyone else deal with this ridiculous RSVP? I guess I should have been more clear, but for a backstory, this is a family friend on my fiance's side, she captioned in a Facebook post. Frustrated, the bride uploaded an image of the RSVP form to a Facebook bridal group, revealing the guest's actions. Her fiance's family friend marked it joyfully accepts, but revised the number of people in her family that were invited to the event, increasing her allotted 4 seats to 4 plus baby on the form. Aside from the infant interloper, the guest also made a special note about dietary restrictions. Don't worry about my husband with his celiac disease. He'll eat before the wedding, and baby will eat from my plate, they wrote. And by the way, she wrote this in like pink marker. They're showing the thing. So where it says 4, and she wrote plus baby, and then wrote that on there. The bride, already in distress, tried to be understanding about the large family. She has kids from 3 different men, including her current husband. She didn't have to say that right away.
She went in.
Like she didn't even like ease in. Holy shit. So I asked her how many she thinks are coming, and she told me 4, including her 1-year-old baby, the bride continued. Despite the bride's thorough efforts, the guest later decided 4 wasn't enough for the family, so they wiggled another member on the RSVP invite. She included her husband's child from a previous relationship. I'm like, I don't even know her husband well enough to have his child from someone else come, the bride added. She never told me that the child was coming with them. I'm just annoyed. Although the newlyweds understood most venues don't designate seats for children under 2, the bride wished the family friend would have asked for an additional guest instead of assuming it wouldn't be an issue. Nothing I can do now, she sighed. While a few Facebook group members agree with the begrudging bride, urging her mitigate tension by reaching out to a guest in question to confirm seat count, others back the actions of the family friend. Yikes. If you invite the family, then you invite the whole family. If you didn't want kids there, you shouldn't have said so, one wrote. It's not a child-free wedding, and it would be very unkind to welcome all but one of the children in the family. Seriously unkind, another one chimed in. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it the bride for being upset that even though she said, hey, this is who we're inviting, and then this other person's like, well, I'm inviting other people. I don't, kind of throwing shade about the diet. Like, I know you have this food. Don't you realize my husband can't eat that? I guess he won't eat. I guess he'll eat before, but don't worry, kids will eat from here. Is it the bride for like not, accommodating everyone and everything at all times? She's worried about her big day. Is it this fucking person who's like, I'm just going to change things whatever I want to do. And I'm going to, even just like with my choice in men, I'm just going to choose whatever I want. 3 men, 3 meals, 3 whatever. I don't care. Is it the baby? Why would the fucking baby want to go to a wedding? Weddings suck anyway. If you're a baby, you want to stay home. She has 3 other men she slept with. Can't one of them watch the baby? I can't imagine they're all going. Unless that's the 4. Is it her, the 3 men she's had children with? But I don't think so. I think it's other children there. Or is it weddings? Stop it. It's dumb. Just go to a courthouse. I saw it the 2 weeks ago. There was a woman. She was all happy in front of a courthouse. I was going to get my birth certificate I needed to get my license. Which, by the way, I didn't end up needing anyway. Fuck them. I go there. There's a woman. She's wearing like a wedding dress. She seems all happy. And then a guy who looks like a Mexican dock worker wearing a flannel shirt and a hat. And then he's like, that's what he wore to get married. Because one of them wanted to do this and one didn't. And that's how you're supposed to do it. You have a party afterwards. And then you don't care about all that kind of shit. Who's the piece of shit in the story?
Oh, so my first question would be, where's the original version of the fiance's friend? The one who gave birth to this kid she's bringing to the wedding. She can't hold on to it for a little bit, like a couple hours. I get no one should want to go to a wedding, right? Like, weddings suck. They're terrible. You have to pretend like this is going to work out between these 2 people who you see fight over the stupidest reasons. You don't get the right to give yourself a +1. However, a kid might be the exception. Like a baby who you're just going to hold the whole time, and you're going, hey, don't worry about the money. My husband's not going to eat anyway, so don't get a dish for him. Like, you're trying to make it work out. She tried. Clearly, she's not the most put together person, right?
Right. But
Like, I think with weddings,
okay,
one thing that people being celebrated forget sometimes is the quality of person they're inviting to their wedding. Like, I get invited to weddings a bunch, and like I am not well put together. So if you want me at your wedding, you need to realize, there's gonna be some Bobbyisms happening. Like, perhaps my aunt will be like, "Come on, we're all dancing," and she'll grab me by the wrist, and I'll go, "Aunt Nancy, I have a knife. I'll fucking stab you." And that's the
oh
picture
boy,
they decided to put on the family's digital picture frame from the fucking wedding of me threatening to stab Aunt Nancy. So for me, piece of shit's the bride. If you didn't care, like if you really were strict, you send out the RSVP and you go, "You got 3. Pick wisely." Right? Like if it's that strict. But she opened the door to this by calling and going, "Hey, I know you're a whore. How many of your bastard children are you bringing to the wedding?" Like she kind of started it. For me, it's the bride. You know what? Maybe if you lost a little bit, you could have lost a little bit of weight. We could have some extra food for the baby, and it wouldn't be a problem at all.
A, I'm laughing at what you're saying, but B, also laughing that while you were doing that, and I'm thinking of my piece of shit. The first thing that came to my mind was, well, only a crazy person would blame the bride. And then you went into a whole thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, the piece of shit is definitely not the bride. The piece of shit is this fucking woman. And there's so many. Okay. Bobby, not that I've only been married one time, but my dad's been married 3 times. I've been part and around many different weddings. When you're choosing the menu, you don't get, it's not a per plate kind of fucking, you're not saving money. You've already paid money for this thing. So you don't even, if the guy doesn't want to eat his fucking food, then you shut the fuck up and you don't eat the food. You don't need to write on the thing is, there isn't lines for, it doesn't say added notes or memos on an RSVP. Are you coming or are you fucking not coming? How many people? You are invited 4 fucking people. Okay. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of couples go to weddings and they don't usually bring their fucking kids. They get babysitters or grandma or somebody because you're going as the adults to go. Now, if the children were invited to it, it's because that person who's having that day wanted those children there. They don't want a fucking baby in the church or at the wedding. It's not what they want there. It's their day. You don't just bring your fucking. So how is a baby? Most babies don't just chill out and you don't just feed them. They're going to scream and shit and do everything they can. And also, and I hate to say this, and this is going to sound kind of fucked up, the baby takes away from the attention of the bride. And this is her day. You don't need some fucking baby getting all gaga goo goo and cute. It's her day. She's a big fat pig. But on a wedding day, usually is your best day. So they're shining that pig up the best they can. A baby's always going to look better than a fat woman. Always, no matter what. No one's going to want to go talk to that fat lady. They're going to want to see the baby. The baby's going to be in pictures it doesn't even need to be in. They're even going to make the bride and the guy hold the baby. And people are like, wait, you guys have a baby? Like, no, that's just a fucking baby. Then there's a baby in a tuxedo.
No, he has a baby.
Yeah, you can't resist a baby in a fucking tuxedo. That thing's fucking adorable. You know what I mean? You can't have that there. It's too much of a distraction. Even having the kids there, it's like that's nice of them to do that. Yeah, usually if a kid's there, you involve them in the wedding because it keeps them going a little bit. They have a little fun. They dance around. So, but like toddler kids are fine at it. A little older, they can understand it. But at the same time, this woman is having a wedding. She's inviting tons of people, and at this point, she's right. She's like, this lady's going to tell me she's going to bring everyone. This lady can't say no to dick. How is she going to say no to more people wanting to come? What if she shows up in a caravan with 85 people? No, bitch. First of all, you're lucky to get 4 fucking people. Usually you don't get 4. You get +1. That's good. We all know the term for a reason. And usually you say, if your kids are coming, great, let us know, whatever. But usually it's a +1, not a plus everything that's ever coming you.
Sometimes a +1's even a luxury. Sometimes you get invited to a wedding and everybody else in your family gets a +1 except for you. And then they're like,
they know you're lonely.
You should go dance. And then you go, if you try to drag me out here, I'm going to stab you, Aunt Nancy.
For no reason, Ernie Banks just said that baby needs to get punched in the face. And I'm not sure why, but maybe it's going back to our old story. Maybe that baby was in Boardwalk Empire. I don't know. So, Bobby, who's the piece of shit?
For me, I did say it was the bride.
I know, but I was hoping I could sway you.
Here's the thing.
It can't be the bride. I know you're mad at women, but it's not the bride.
I'm not mad at women.
Day.
Stop! You're getting me in trouble.
I know you hate women more than anything.
I know you're the perfect representation of everything women hate. No. So it's both the bride and this woman. Because here's what's really going on. She's not the bride's friend, right? It's the fiance's friend. And this fat pig knows her fiance is probably still in love with this attractive whore.
Oh, I
He's
don't think
also
the
probably a
fiance ever
fat
banged
pig.
this fatty, fat.
No, he wants to. He's
Oh,
wanted to
really?
probably since high school.
Oh, because she's a
my guess.
hoe.
And she's never given it to him. Yeah, look who he's marrying. Clearly, he's not a Casanova. All right, just because they put lipstick on Miss Piggy doesn't mean that she's pretty. So I'm guessing the bride tried to make this an issue from day one. Well, which one of her kids is she going to? Which one of her men? And then it became a whole thing. You know what I mean? That's what I think happened here. I think this is a stop being best friends with that woman situation because women don't like women typically.
Oh, you know what? My apologies for something. I was going to send you the picture of the fat lady. Then I saw another picture of a bride being skinny. They're just putting generic bride photos, and I guess just the paper trying to be cool was like, well, let's put a fat one in there. So it's not that woman. So she might not be fat.
Yeah, just based on how she's acting.
She's acting fat?
Yeah. You don't see hot chicks throw tantrums like this. Hot chicks are usually chill.
By the way, and I will send you the RSVP because I do want you to see. This is the more annoying because this is like how a whore would write stuff. Here's let me find this here. We'll send it to you.
You know what? The fact that she responded to the RSVP, Pat, you're right. She is the piece of shit. When somebody sends you a wedding invitation, what you do is you just ignore it until they call you on the phone and go, "Can you please respond?"
Do you know how many times I've done that? Even just like his parties and stuff. Like, Pat, I know you've been busy doing nothing, but can you please just respond to this RSVP? Like, what's on my fridge? It's like, isn't that responding? Like, no, you didn't do it. But yeah, it's like this. If you see it, it's they whited out the names obviously, but and they blacked out his name in there. But don't worry about so and so with his celiac disease. By the way, do you think he wanted it out there? Like now it's in the paper that guy has celiac disease.
Yeah, I will say there was a section that said dietary restrictions. So like she did open herself up to this criticism.
Or requirements.
Which would be like, hey, no gluten for my husband. So she's like, don't worry about him. We're not making it more complicated. And I'm going to carry my baby.
You just write, husband has celiac disease. Let kitchen know. That's it. You don't put the part he won't eat. That's the second part is the fucking bullshit. I guess he'll eat earlier. Like, yeah, that's on you. We don't care about your game plan for it because they might come. When you do that, then they'll go. Then you get when you let them know. The kitchen says, "Oh, we have this for them. They can have this dish." They do. Like my daughter has a tree nut allergy. When she's had to go to weddings, we put that on there, and they go, "Oh, she can have this or this." Right? Okay, cool. Thank you. We just want to know because sometimes you think, "Oh, they can have the pasta," then you realize the pasta has pesto, and pesto has nuts in it. And you're like, "Fuck, she can have the pasta." So you let them know you can have it.
Oh, I'm with you. I would just say by the color of the pink pen, do you think this is a high class woman we're dealing with?
No, also by the look of cactus on your fucking wedding invitation, do you think that the wedding was any good?
No,
Cactus?
that's my point. Why did she want to go? Just be like, I had a baby, I can't go. Sorry.
Why'd she want to go? Because, dude, she loves meeting new men who will bang her. And who gets more banged than a fucking whore at a wedding? This lady has 3 kids with 3 different people. She loves that fresh cock.
Get down.
You know what they should have done? Right when they're there.
That baby.
That baby should just look and go, I need help. And then a helicopter comes down and takes the baby away. And finally, helicopters are useful.
And it spins it. And the baby stops crying.
Like we spun it all the way back. Yeah. But I would say everyone like and subscribe to this, but whatever. We're on Patreon. Thank you, Ernie, for hanging out like normal. Everyone else that watches this later on, we appreciate you. Make sure you watch it. You're watching this on Tuesday during the day, tonight, 8 o'clock, Tuesday, 8 p.m. live on YouTube. We'll be doing the show there. Come join us in that one. And then also we'll see you Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. We have a guest on the show, a guy named AJ. Will be on the show with this show. Not the guy from Jazz and AJ. AJ will be on the show.
AJ Styles.
Bobby, you got anything you want to promote or push before we move away?
I sure do. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a gentleman who puts more effort in the comedy game than anybody I know, and his name is Michael Bichetti. And his new episode of that he did on Comedy Central, Adult Swim, is available. It came out Sunday. Go watch it on demand. Shout out Mike Pachetti.
He's on Adult Swim. That's cartoons, right? Is he a cartoon?
No, he's the one person. It's Happy Friends is what it's called. He's the
Oh, I've
one
heard of
live
it, yeah.
action. Yeah, he's the live action person with cartoons.
So he's on the latest episode of there?
It came out Sunday, yeah. So hopefully he'll
Because they put Happy Friends and replays on HBO Max. So I will go check that out today. Nice.
perfect. And then maybe, we could talk to Mike.
And I know at one point we're trying to get Mike on, so hopefully he can be on. 'Cause that'd be great to see him. I like Mike. So
Mike's the man.
cool.
I will be at June 15th, Emaw Theater, and July something at the Bijou. But the most important show I could tell you to go to in Connecticut is, Pat, tell him.
Most important show.
I was just giving you your plugs.
Oh yeah. I was like, none of my shows are important. I was like, whose show is this? Avery Quinn's got a thing? All right, so
we just got a rare insight into Pat's self-esteem there, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, you have no idea. Like, I woke up with panic attacks. I had a dream that like people actually cared about me. It's like so Wednesday through Friday I'll be on 95.9 to Fox. Listen to me there from 2 to 7 if you want to stream that anywhere. Thursday I'm 10 o'clock. I'm at Comics Roadhouse hosting the Bringer contest thing, whatever it is. And then Friday, I'm at Riverwalk Social. 15-year-old comedy prodigy Elliot Lonergan is headlining. So 15 years old, I'm letting him headline. Guys who are older than him are going to be not headlining. They say they're fine with it. I'm sure they're not. Come watch other people be bothered that a young kid is closing out a show. The tickets are still available. Come check that out. So and we'll see you guys all tonight at 8 p.m. On YouTube. Go over there if you haven't subscribed yet. Subscribe so it reminds you. And Bobby,
if somebody tells you to shut up and make the drums, make the best drums you can.
Yeah, and thanks Ernie Banks.